Like they didn't redo any of the cinematics.
Oh, dude, did you see the so Warcraft 3 Reforged?
That's like a shit show. Like, what happened there,
dude?
Okay, so here's basically what happened. So imagine, all right, I think the best parallel that I can draw to this is Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is a Dark Souls game in name only. The gameplay doesn't really feel the same. The bosses feel rushed, etc. They basically outsourced their game to another studio. And so you see Arthas. What does Arthas look like? Arthas doesn't look like a crown prince turned evil. Arthas looks like a drunk. He looks like a 55-year-old drunk that's walking around with a sword. And he looks like a goddamn idiot. He doesn't look like Arthas, okay? Let me say that right now. He doesn't. And it's disappointing because people have been looking forward to this for years. I mean, Warcraft 3 is it was one of the games that a lot of people that played WoW, many of them played WoW because of Warcraft 3. Like they focus so strongly on trying to recreate the original game, where the name of the game is Reforged. They should have used this opportunity to create something that was awesome. Like one of the most iconic moments is whenever Arthas fights Illidan on like the fucking steps of the Frozen Throne. He's about to become the Lich King, and Illidan wants to fight his ass for it. And the original cinematic was literally like fucking out of something that they literally just ran out of budget. Where Arthas, they hit each other a couple times. They're like, man, fuck you. Illidan goes up in the air, and then Arthas, you don't even see him do the swing. It's just the sword. Where's the sword? Okay, I don't have a sword, but it's like this.
Yeah.
And then the sword, and then the next thing you know, Illidan's on the ground.
It's like, what the fuck?
And like, so here's the thing. They could have turned that into a fucking badass cinematic. Like, you can hate on this Shadowlands cinematic all you want, but the fight between Bolvar and Sylvanas was cool. It was cool. And they just recreated it. It's almost like, you know how the YouTube Rewind this year was just basically a top 10 list?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happened.
Well,
so how do they?
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna add. Think about what Blizzard has done from like a cinematic perspective. Cinematics has been the one thing that has been Blizzard's bread and butter for like 15 years. They've always done well with their cinematics. It's like that's one thing that you can complain all you want about games, this, that, whatever. Cinematics is one thing that they always do well. They advertised that there was going to be like 4+ hours worth of new cinematics and cutscenes and this and that, and they literally didn't do anything. They had in the original game, they did cinematics for some stuff, and then they kind of ran out of budget, and then they did like cutscenes with in-game models. They did the same thing now with the in-game model cutscenes, and then also they didn't do anything with the cinematic. They like upscaled the cinematics. So like you should have just, one, you didn't do what you advertised. Two, the game came out a month later than you advertised it was going to come out. It's just the whole thing's like an absolute mess.
Like there's bugs in the fucking, like they managed to remake a game that's worse than the game that they already made. Just in principle, like
they've already done that once this year.
What was that?
Classic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I mean, hey, just going for it again.
Yeah, it's just insane to me that something can fall so far. Like I looked at, like I saw these like animations of like cyclones that freeze, and there's dice like frozen assets on the fucking map that aren't like supposed to be there, and all this shit. And I'm just like, man, what the fuck? Like, what happened?
Well, it's that
so
you
crazy.
outsourced the game. That's what they did. They outsourced the game, and the game doesn't feel like a Blizzard game. And that was something that people started to see whenever they were looking at the new models. Is they're like, some of these look good, right? The fidelity on the models is good, but do they really? Is it a Blizzard game? Is it a Blizzard model? Is this something that you can recognize? And the answer is no. I think a lot of people didn't feel like that same Blizzard touch with Reforged that they did with other games. And of course, that's really bad for the game. Of course, it's really bad. And now they have like this new, because, they don't want to have. So here's what happened, right? With the original Warcraft 3, a lot of people might not know this, but Dota actually came from a Warcraft 3 mod called Defense of the Ancients. That's what it stands for.
Yep.
So Blizzard didn't want to have what happened with Dota happen again. And so now they have a new whole like contract and, you know, page about any custom game that you make is automatically owned by Blizzard. And so
really? I didn't know
custom
that.
game makers say what?
I didn't know that.
Surprise.
That's big. Yeah, that's big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Continue.
So yeah, I don't know, man.
I didn't mean to derail your thought process. Sorry.
It was already derailed.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know, man. I just
So don't they still have like the original assets of the game somewhere where they can just like how do they make the graphics worse? But is what they try to do? They try to remake
they
the game.
didn't make the graphics worse. They made them better, but in a way that
It's
didn't
inauthentic.
make people feel like it was the original game.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So it didn't feel like a remake. And this is a big problem. And Blizzard had the same issue in 2014, whenever they updated the player models in World of Warcraft. But it's always like a matter of nostalgia and memory, etc. But I think that the resounding consensus is that the game doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, I see. Did they change the movement too? So like it actually like the actual.
No, I haven't played the game. Like I'm
Yeah.
literally just going off of this. I'm just talking about the cinematics and the way the game looks. I have no idea about the gameplay. I'm sure the game plays relatively fine. Like I would probably play through it if I kind of like wanted to, but I haven't really wanted to. So I don't know. Like Blizzard's always done a very bad job at, you know, this kind of stuff. And now that they're outsourcing things, etc. They've always done a bad job with making decisions. And now it's just to the next level, because you had Classic come out, and I to an extent, I think Classic was very successful. It was, but there are a lot of people that went into it with unrealistic expectations. But there are things that those people who are critical of Classic, they're right about, and it could have been better. And I think that the issue is that there are so many opportunities that are just being lost. Yeah, so I mean, like Overwatch is the same thing. Like Overwatch is, I mean, like you want to talk about a dead game? Like WoW is flourishing compared to Overwatch. Who the fuck plays Overwatch?
True.
Like, and more than that, who the fuck watches it?
True.
Like you don't know what the fuck is going on. You have no idea what the fuck is going on with the game. And they're making Overwatch 2, which is Overwatch. It's Overwatch. And it's slightly higher graphics, etc. Of course, you know, I'm sure that people will be paying a $60 price tag for it. It's just, it's mistake after mistake, man. And like the new WoW expansions come out, I'm getting a slight case of fucking depression here talking about it.
Yeah.
It's just sad, because at a fundamental level, I think Blizzard, they slow their games down so much to where anybody can understand them, and then nobody cares.
What
Like,
was
you think
different
about,
about the way they used to do it? Like, why is it?
You play Classic, man, and you go into PvP as you're a warrior, one hit, 40% of their health. You see their health go down whenever you pop off on them.
Yeah.
In BFA, someone, I don't know how, somehow they fucking heal whenever I hit them. Like their health goes up when I hit them. Like it's awful. It takes forever to fucking do anything, man. And the combat, like I was literally doing arena the other day, and during the match, I was contemplating quitting the game. I was like, you know what? I'm fucking bored. Like, can we just...
Dude, that's what happened to me whenever I quit the first time.
Yeah, it's so fucking boring, man.
And I decided to quit. Like, I literally logged off, canceled my account.
I was about to log off in the middle of the
Yeah.
match.
Ridiculous.
And I love the game. Like, I'm addicted to the game. I'm not going to quit. Like, and that's the depressing realization, is knowing that I'm going to sit here and get fucked in the ass by Blizzard for the next, at least, I don't know, 5 or 10 years. And I'm just going to take it.
That's fucked up. The same way Twitch
You
is
want to
decreased
know
by
what the
6%.
problem is with WoW? Is
What
that
is
they
it?
did listen to the players. And the game was worse because of it. The problem is that they listen to the players. They're like, oh, wow, you don't want gear to matter in PvP? Well, we're going to give everybody templates, and now nothing you does matter. they don't, and this is the same with a lot of other developers. Like, you can't allow a mass movement to develop the game for you. You have to have a unified vision of what the game is. The problem is not that the problem is that the unified vision is not shared by the player base, and that's the same thing with Overwatch. That's the same thing with like, how many other games are like this? I mean,
the funny thing is,
you guys probably feel the same way. Anyway, so I think a lot of games are like this, right? I mean, you have developers that don't really know exactly how to make their community happy, so they just listen to the wrong parts of their community. And that's been an issue with like development for a long time with mini games. Like Overwatch is probably the same thing.
Really, and I feel like I don't know too much about Blizzard, but I feel like the last time they were good was like maybe when they made the original Brood War and stuff, like maybe in the original WoW.
I think that everything up until Wrath of the Lich King was good.
Yeah.
Even Overwatch originally was a good game. They don't want to balance the game, because if you balance the game, it's boring. You want to continuously make different things broken, so people are like, oh my god, my favorite champion is broken right now, I want to go play him. They don't want balance. Yeah, balancing the game is boring, but you want to switch up which class is overpowered, right? You know, it's like this week you get to be the chosen one, and next week, don't worry, you're going to have your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah,
that's pretty true.
I don't know. It's an issue, man. I don't know if they're ever going to fix it, but it's disappointing to see where things have gone. I'll say that.
If they haven't fixed it at this point, it's just no hope, man. To be honest, like, it's like,
well, dude, I don't think Shadowlands is gonna be like. I don't have hope for Shadowlands.
I didn't have hope for it. I haven't had hope for the past couple expansions. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm gonna play this shit, but I ain't like. I'm not like,
it's not gonna be what it was.
People just go for, like, no matter what, dude. Like Diablo 4 releases and everybody forgets. Everyone thinks that's gonna be like the thing that redeems Blizzard now. Like,
listen, man, I hope it is.
Yeah.
Like, I hope, man. Every time a new game comes out, it's like, this is the time where they stop doing stupid shit and they start doing good shit again.
I agree.
Yeah.
I hope Diablo 4
it's sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
Well, Train, how you feeling, man?
Dude, I'll tell you how I'm feeling, dude. Lend more. We've talked about WoW so much. These motherfuckers, like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Hopefully they fucking pick it up. They change it up. I'm honestly hoping Diablo 4 is good. I'll be honest with you. I think the cinematic was good up until a certain point. I think I don't know. I have my concerns with Diablo 4. I think the cinematic has strayed away from what the game is.
Dude, it got like really like it was like Diablo's a very like dark game.
Yeah.
And it kind of started out that way, and then it got like goofy.
Yeah.
That's the vibe that I got.
That's
It went
the
from like
issue.
and like I'm like I like a level of humor and things, but just like it just didn't feel like it fit what Diablo was.
It's because they're trying to PC and like culturally appropriate a game that doesn't belong in that. Like, it's just a dark killing game.
Like, what? No. What do you mean? Like, they literally pulled out 3 people's entrails to summon Lilith from the underworld.
Yeah, but they
on
did
screen.
it.
There's nothing PC about
No,
that.
but they did it. No, they did it in a PC way. They did it in a PC way.
No. What I'm trying to say is the
Okay.
arts.
Sorry, I'm memeing now.
What I'm trying to say is the arts and the way everything was created and crafted. Like, yeah, they did that, but that was. It didn't look Diablo. It looked forced because they were trying to hide every other aspect of the game. That's just like they've sold out.
I don't even care about the trailer. If the game's good, I'll play it. It's really all it comes down to.
I got
to the people that are
goofy towards the it was like towards not like the middle, but like past the midpoint. It got kind of goofy, just like randomly, and it felt like out of place. That's what
it's not only that. No, it's the beginning. Okay, so for those of you that don't understand my Overwatch reference, and to the 90% question marking it, when realistically when the game originally came out, you were still in the fucking mother's womb. But go ahead and act as cool as you want. You're fucking 9 years old.
At the daddy's sack, dude.
That's right. But what I'm referring to is, so if you take the voice lines of Overwatch, and then you go into the fucking cheesy ass stupid jokes that and the punchlines they were making, when they were running across the bridge to get into the fucking tomb to lock the
Yeah,
door
it's
behind
always
them.
it's like a Marvel movie. It's all these one-offs.
Yeah, it's just very. That's
yeah,
not.
that
That's
part,
not
yeah.
Diablo. That's not Diablo. I'm sorry. Like that, you'll never sell to me that Diablo 2 would ever have some dumb shit like that. Did you hear the
thought it
voice
was a
lines of
little
the
bit later.
barbarians in Diablo 2? That was some brutal, fucking gruesome shit. Like even the jokes were like, "Holy fuck, this barbarian's to take your head off." In this Overwatch, in this Diablo 4 trailer, they're saying shit that fucking Tracer would say and put her 2 fingers up with her anime costume on. Like it was some fucking dumb shit. Like it was stupid as fuck. And that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I
That's kinda what
didn't
was
see it that
talking
way.
about.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess we'll agree to disagree.
Or let's disagree to agree.
Look, if the game's good, I'm not going to give a fuck about the trailer. So hopefully the game will be good. I guess we'll know in 3 years.
At the
Right.
end of the day, that's all that matters.
Let's talk about butts.
Wait,
Okay.
it comes out in 3 years, Asmon?
It was a joke, but it'll probably be like
No,
a year
that's
and a half
actually
to 2
not a
years.
joke, isn't it? Didn't they say it's nowhere near ready?
Yeah,
It
but I
legit
mean,
would probably
like,
be 3
I'd
years.
say a year and a half to 2 years, something like that. So, Mary, you had a topic?
Yeah, butts.
Okay, let's talk about
Yeah,
butts.
butts are great.
Oh, I'll
let's
show
start.
you to start this butt conversation.